you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you.
Hey there guys, EctoMaster here. No, we are not restarting Bioshock Infinite. No, after long last, I am doing a review, finally, of Bioshock Infinite. Now, I've been sitting on this for quite a while. I figured with the final bit of DLC coming out, I would finally talk about Bioshock Infinite, what it meant to me, how I felt about it, what was good, what was bad. Now, as I said, I've been sitting on this for quite a while, and the reason behind that is I just did not know how I wanted to go about this. I had quite a few ideas on what I wanted to do. I was looking at a grading system of like a 1 out of 10, or 1 to 10, and I was going to theme it to the game. Instead, no, I'm not going to do that. I will still do a grading system, but it's not going to be a 1 out of 10. It's going to be much simpler, about half that, 1 out of 5. And there is a possibility of getting a 0. Which I can tell you right now is not going to happen with this game. It's not a 0 at all. This is just going to be a first one of all what I'm going to call, or I've tried to call them in the past, case files. These are, again, I'm going with my Ghostbuster feel. So this is going to be a case file for Bioshock Infinite. And what I think worked for it, what was great about it, what was terrible about it, and how I feel at the end of this all. Now, granted, I'm going to try and stay as spoiler-free as possible, but we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to mention spoilers ahead. And we'll go from there. So, get ready to have your minds blown. Actually, you won't have your minds blown. If you've watched the whole series or played the game, you've already had it blown. That being said, let's get to it. Now, Bioshock Infinite, the story is about a man named Booker DeWitt. He is tasked with finding a girl named Elizabeth, I just saw in the opening there. He is to find her and bring her back to New York with the mantra of bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. Now, you do play as Booker and you go through this fantastical world, which we'll see in just a little bit, known as Columbia. And you encounter all sorts of baddies, and you finally get to Elizabeth, and you rescue her, quote unquote, as you try to escape Columbia. And there's all sorts of different ways, mainly playing into this whole alternate reality ideal. Now, story-wise, it is a fantastic story. I absolutely loved it. But of course, there are some bad things to the story as well, and we'll get to that a little bit later. It is probably one of the most fun stories that I had played through in a long, long time. Not a lot of games I can say that I sat down and started playing, enjoyed, and just did not want to stop playing. There's not a whole lot that I can say to that. Just because of the story, and the story on this had me going. I am a huge, huge fan of alternate realities. That has always been something that has interested me. I love TV shows like Fringe and whatnot, and when I heard that this game was dealing with alternate realities and you would be reality hopping and things like that, I was like, oh my god, I gotta play this game. And so I did. And I wasn't disappointed, per se. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was a great game. And the story was fantastic. It's got its flaws, though. And I could sit here, and like I said, I love the story. The story is fantastic. I loved the visuals, and we'll see some of that in a little bit. Visuals were amazing. The problem came down to quite a few other things. Story-wise, I was very disappointed that there wasn't more done with the alternate realities. It was kind of like, to be honest, you went through spoiling you're kind of already... I'm going to spoil it for you. You're already in an alternate reality to start with. The reality that Booker knows this is not his world. This is a completely utter different reality. And again, I'm trying to stay as spoiler-free as possible, but I'm going to leave it at that. And from there, you enter maybe about 2 other, maybe 3 alternate realities. And it's something that plays into the game over and over again. Elizabeth has these powers where she can pull things from alternate realities. I think the original idea was to have you enter alternate realities and be able to go back and forth and things like that, and it never happened. And that's where I kind of got a little disappointed. In that I wish they had done more with that. But the thing that disappointed me the most, the one thing that I can say that I liked the least in this game is it comes down to the mechanics of the game and to the enemy types. And for a shooter, that's kind of important. From what I can see from playing a little bit of Bioshock, and that's something that I plan on finishing, it was a very... Bioshock, you had multiple weapon choices, and you could string things together, and there was all sorts of things that could be done. But in Bioshock Infinite, you start out with one weapon, and actually you're going to see what happens to your first weapon. You don't even get to use your first weapon. And you'll see the scene right here where you literally sit in a chair, right? What the hell? And all this starts going on. And this is probably like my favorite scene in the whole game is what's happening here. And those that have played Bioshock will recognize it. But there goes your gun. You were just given a gun, and now you have no gun. Like I said, this is probably my favorite scene because it is the complete exact opposite of what happens in Bioshock. And you go down in Bioshock, in this you go up. You guys freaking out because he's on a freaking rocket. And boom, there it is. This is probably the coolest scene in the whole game. Well, one of the coolest scenes. You're in a little rocket that's kind of floating right over the city. And this is amazing. I just love this. This shot here is one of the coolest. Now, as I was saying, what comes down to the mechanics of this game, you get one gun, and eventually you get a second gun. And after you get all that, that's it. You get 2 guns. And unless I'm wrong, and I've seen a couple of playthroughs where it was either myself or even Jesse Cox, you only use 2 guns at a time. You can't hold like 3 or 4 guns. You can only hold 2, which is kind of disappointing because in the end, I played the DLC, Burial at Sea, and I could hold multiple guns, and I could switch between them. And for whatever reason, you can't do that in the main game. Unless, again, I am totally wrong and didn't find out about it until the DLC. But there are times when you're running around and I got a pistol and a sniper rifle, and I run out of ammo for the sniper rifle, and all I got is a pistol, and I'm picking up ammo, and I'm picking up ammo for a shotgun. And I look around, and I'm going around. There are no freaking shotguns. And so finally, I find another weapon that I can use that I've got ammo for. I drop the sniper rifle, and now suddenly I'm picking up sniper ammo. That was just, to me, poorly designed. If you're going to give me multiple gun options, give me the option to use multiple guns. Don't give, 2 is an option of multiple guns, but if you're going to do that, give me at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 guns that I could use. Because then at least I can, if I run out of ammo for one, then I have another. To use a slight comparison of a system that uses 2 guns, you have Battlefield 4, where you have a gun, and then your main gun, your main weapon, and then typically a pistol. But to be honest, unless you have like ammo packs or whatever or something, you're probably dying before you run out of ammo. There's only been a couple of times where, as a sniper, I've gotten into a good position, was able to fight from that position, and I ran out of ammo and killed myself because I didn't have any ammo, and I couldn't give ammo to anyone because, well, it was, or get ammo for anyone. There was no one around. But in this, I run out of ammo for a gun. I have to hope I can find a vendor, or hope that I can get my hands on a different weapon that I already have ammo for. The ammo I can carry around, but the weapon I can't. And I don't understand why the game was set up that way. It seemed a poor fit, in my opinion, for a game that was a shooter that I can't really go around and shoot. You know, I run out of pistol ammo. Well, I can't use the pistol anymore because there's no pistol ammo anywhere. But I got plenty of shotgun ammo, just no shotgun. You know, the other thing that really, really bugged me with this game is the baddies, I guess you could say. You have, like, I'm trying to categorize it. You have what I like to call flunkies. Flunkies are low level, easy to kill. They're trash. They are easy. It's like going into a raid and you see all these. They're not really epic, but you can kill them easily with 10 people. You know, with 3 people rather than just 4 or 5 or even 10. You know, they're not a big boss and they're not a mini boss. They're flunkies, and they're easy to kill. And they've got those in spades in this game. I mean, you got the cops for the Colombian cops. No, the police force for Colombia. You have the police force for Colombia. You have the Vox Populi, and you know there's an assortment of those. Then you have your biggies, like your kind of mini bosses, such as the firemen, one of the mechanical guys. You know, you have those, and those are, you know, mini bosses. You know, I'm not even calling them mini bosses because they're really not. They're just like a step above flunkies. They're different type of flunky that are more bullet spongy, and that's all there is. Then you got the real mini boss, and the real mini boss are the handymen, and those guys are pain in the ass because they say you shoot at the heart, which is in the center of them, and that will kill them. But you can't really get a good shot at the heart. It's like, even on like medium, which is what I usually play my games at, I could not hit the guys that had, you know, that were the handyman. I couldn't hit the center in there because they were either always hunking over or jumping at me and going for me. So they were just big, giant bullet sponges because I would just unload until they were finally dead because that was all you could do. I mean, of course, there's better gamers out there than me that turn around and they'll see this video and they go, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about? That was easy. I could easily do that. Well, you're just stupid." Hey, I'm not claiming to be the best gamer. I'm just saying that kind of as a slightly casual gamer, and I play all the time, I couldn't hit the heart. Despite the fact that it was a big target, the guy was always like, you just could not get a good angle at hitting that target. It was just like, all right, I'm bang, 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 and he's dead. Which comes to, you know, as I classified them as mini bosses, comes to boss. There was only one boss in this entire game, and that was Lady Comstock. And you know, we're not going to show you that here. You can watch my videos on it. But I really didn't like the setup for it. When I played through it, I had a very, very hard time doing it. The way she was set up was you walk up and she's a ghost, apparently. She can raise the dead. And you have to kill the guys that are, you know, she raises the dead, and it's not like, you know, she's raising like zombies. She's raising up these bodies of soldiers that are around her and using them to fight against you. And the story to it is it's explained on why and how and things like that. But it was trying to come up with the right way to say this. It was overdone. And by that I mean, if you look at what she did, the first time you encounter her, you have to kill her, fight off the baddies, the flunkies that she's raising, and kill her enough that she disappears. The second time you encounter her, you have to kill her, fight off the flunkies that she's raising, and, like I said, kill her until she disappears. And the third time you encounter her, you have to fight off her flunkies to kill her enough to make her disappear. It was the same fight every single time. And personally, that's all well and good, but I would have liked a little bit more of a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, Warcraft kind of fight. I know everyone's thinking, oh, now here we go again. Now he's comparing things to World of Warcraft. That shouldn't be compared to World of Warcraft. What the hell are you doing? Allow me to explain. Stage 1 with Lady Comstock, you should fight her, and only her. You shouldn't have to fight anybody else. You can just fight against her and go about your day. Second time you come to her, stage 2, instead of fighting her, she raises up 10 to 12 guys that you now have to defeat. Okay. Stage 3, you fight her and those flunkies. Boom. See? Now it's progressed where stage 1 we did this, stage 2 we did this, and stage 3 is the culmination of stage 1 and stage 2. Easy enough. But instead, it was just stage 3, or what I'm labeling as stage 3 for stage 1, 2, and 3. It was all the same. I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have staggered it a little bit better. Make the final fight like a final fight. Like, oh my god, holy crap. Like, first time, yeah, she's hard. She's floating around the place. She's disappearing. That's hard. Okay. Second time, she's raised up 12 to 15 guys. They're all shooting at me. They're flunkies, yeah, sure, but, there's a lot of them. That's hard. Okay. Third time, she's got flunkies. She's moving around. She's disappearing. We have to kill all of that. Boom. Done. Very hard. And there, you've solved the problem. There's other things that that play into this that I just thought, like I said, the story was great, but I think the alternate realities they could have played up a little bit more, which is where I get a little sad because they announced Irrational Games. Ken Levine, the guy who wrote this or put this all together, basically he's leaving. Although 2K Games is going to continue the Bioshock name, there's no telling what they're going to do with Bioshock Infinite. And with the DLC coming out, that's, Burial at Sea 2, it's that being the final one for Infinite, that just kind of like, that disappointed me a little bit. Because there was so much that was really cool about this. I could just see them doing, all sorts of branching off of this. But it doesn't look like it could happen. I mean, you could do something where it's a Columbia even in the future, well, maybe not the future, but, maybe Columbia at the same time as Rapture, and in a world where Rapture and Columbia both exist. That could be interesting. That would actually make an interesting MMO. Now that I think about it. That could be an interesting MMO where you play as one of 3 factions. You either play as a Columbia faction, you play as a Rapture faction, or you play as a neutral, kind of like United States, everybody in the middle. 2K, call me. See, look, I got ideas. I'm just disappointed that we're not going to see more of it. I'm sad to see the story kind of end. And this day and age, back in the day when a story ended, a story ended. When a game ended, that was it. When Mario got to the castle and he saved Princess Peach, boom, story is done. When Frogger crossed the damn stuff, boom, again, it was done. That was it. That's all he needed to do. But nowadays in this, it's so hard to leave it like this that I don't want to. And it's I look at it and go, there's got to be a way to continue the story. There's got to be more. I would love more. I love this world. The world is leaking in and on itself, in upon itself, because somebody decided to mess around with the ability to travel to alternate dimensions. And that being said, I just wanted I wish there was more that they would do, but apparently it's not going to happen. Uh, I love this game. This game was fantastic. My final thoughts on it: if you haven't played it, play it, do it. It's a great game. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of lore. It's a lot of fun. Some of my favorite things about this is, again, you've got the visuals. Everything looks just stunning, pretty, and pristine. And the place that comes to mind when I look at this, and I said this in the game when I looked at a map, is Disneyland or Disney World, where everything kind of looks like this, where it's nice and pretty and pristine, but it also has that dark side to it. And trust me, Disney has a little bit of a dark side to it, because everything does. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. But it's got the dark side to it because it's got the Vox Populi going on. It's got all this other junk. It's got there's racism. There's this. There's that. But one of the things I love the most, and we're going to end the video with it. We're going to end this video with, is you get to see, like, as things are leaking through these holes that are all over the place. One of the things that leaks through is music. And one of the guys, and in reading it, he pretty much steals music from the future, music that hasn't happened yet, and he implements it into their world and their own iteration. And the first one that you encounter is actually right up here. And we'll leave it at this. Again, if you guys haven't gotten this game, I recommend go get it, play it. It's a fantastic game. It's got a lot of good stuff to it. The DLC is fantastic as well. And as always, I will see you guys next time with the next iteration of the next case file.
No turning back, even while we sleep, we will find you.